Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
You know the old age adage, time heals all wounds. Is that actually true, or is that just something we say to make ourselves feel better when we're going through a difficult situation? Today, we're going to explore that question. So welcome to Beyond Survival on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My special guest today is Sienna Smith, who goes by C, who was diagnosed at 18 years old with a multitude of chronic illnesses, one of which is called IIH, idiopathic intracranial cerebral spinal fluid hypertension, a rare disorder characterized by high pressure inside the skull due to excess cerebral spinal fluid buildup with no known cause. In the most severe cases, like Sienna's, vision is threatened and surgery is required. Additionally, during this time, Sienna had a bad dream about her brother one night, her only sibling, and the next day he unexpectedly passed away. Sienna was overcome with grief and loss and didn't know how she would carry on without him. As a result, her health issues worsened, and over the next 3 years, she would have to have 9 spinal taps and 2 brain surgeries without her brother by her side. However, Sienna made it through to the other side and is here today to tell us how and share her story. She has become a chronic illness and healthcare advocate, a content creator, a published author, writing a children's book in honor of her late brother called Different Jaden, and has started another chapter in her life as she is a wife and a new mom. Sienna wants to help others going through difficult situations and to let everyone know that there is life after grief. And with that being said, I will welcome Sienna to the show.
Hello.
Hi, Sienna. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. I've been waiting for this for a long time.
So. I know. We've been like talking back and forth, like over the years. Yeah. So excited.
So to kick off the show, because this is what you were going through when I found you on social media, can you tell us a little bit more about IIH and how it impacted or still impacts your life today?
Yeah, so I was getting a routine eye exam when I was in high school. I just needed new glasses. And when I went to go get new glasses, the eye doctor, she just looked at me, her eyes bulged, and she was like, you need to go to the emergency room right now. I had no idea why I needed to go to the emergency room. She was just like, the back of your eye is bulging right now, and I'm concerned about a brain tumor at this point because it was so severe. Like she said, had I not come in, I was essentially going to go blind shortly after. So I went to the emergency room. I'm like, hey, like I was sent here, don't really know why I'm here. She just mentioned something like eye pressure in the back of the brain. I'm here essentially, and I was in Atlanta at the time. And they told me just that I would need an MRI. So I went to go get an MRI, and that's when they diagnosed me there. I had the MRI. They said like all my vision was being threatened and I needed a lumbar puncture. So I got my first lumbar puncture then. I had pretty high pressure, and overall, like my my vision, like I thought I was seeing just fine, but had I not gone in that day, like randomly just to get a new pair of eyeglasses, I could have permanently lost my vision there. So I had repeat lumbar punctures after that.
You know, it's ironic that you mentioned that's how you found out, because when I was advertising for you being on the show, a girl wrote to me and said that's how she found out she had it too. She
Mm-hmm.
went to the eye doctors and they said you have IIH. So she's probably watching the show today, but
I hope
yeah,
so.
yeah, I bet that's how most people, right? If you
Yeah.
don't know anything's off with your vision. So, you know, what made you, because I know your story, I know all the stuff that happened in between here, but what made you decide to get on social media in 2003? I know that was like after your final successful brain surgery.
Mhm.
But what made you do that and really put yourself out there? I mean, that's when I found you and
Mhm.
started following you, but I just thought your content was so good and stuff that, you know, people needed to hear, because it didn't just cover IIH, it covered like your identity as a woman, shaving your head, like all this stuff. So, what made you do that?
So the first surgery I had was February of 2021, which is like a year after my brother passed. Wasn't ready to be on camera, but I was thinking about getting on camera and doing content creation. And then 2023, when I needed the surgery again, first of all, it took forever to get that second surgery. I knew something was wrong. Like I knew it felt like it had disconnected my shunt that I had at the time, the original one I had, and I knew something was wrong, and I was begging the doctors to do something about it or open up. But because all of my scans came up as normal, and like my all my brain, my I guess my a lobe, like it's hard to describe, but it basically collapsed on the shunt. So all my images, it looked stagnant. So it looked normal, like it just collapsed. And so you couldn't see all of the pain and destruction and how it disconnected. And so after begging, they finally agreed to go in, and it turned out that my shunt had completely disconnected. Who knows how long it had disconnected, but it had not been working for probably going on like years. Like it was not working because it was 2021 to 2023. That whole time period, I was having symptoms on and off of it not functioning correctly. And so after begging, I finally got the surgery done. And they told me right after surgery, like, hey, yeah, sorry about that. Like, it had disconnected the whole time. And the pressure, like, you only had a pressure of like 5, which is extremely low. So I was like having low pressure headaches the whole time. And I just got really, really honestly, really depressed afterwards, because not only that, I wasn't prepared for how much she was going to shave off, but because she said it got stuck and something was wrong, she had to shave more off in order to literally yank the shunt out, essentially. Like she said she had to do like heavy, like pulling to like remove it and replace it. So I was really like, not only was the pain really bad, but I had really bad nausea. I had really bad depression from just being my head being shaved off. Like it was literally almost half of my head. And I was really struggling hard with how I looked in the recovery, and like just feeling horrible on a day-to-day basis. So I was like, you know what? I have nothing left to lose. Let me just create content to let people know, like, you're not alone in this. And if they're struggling with the same thing, that you're still beautiful regardless. So that's where I really kind of decided to just put myself out there. I was like, I have nothing left to lose at this point. It was a really low point in my life, especially like having the second surgery. I was scared too, because I was like, my doctors weren't listening to me this whole time. So if something goes wrong again, will they listen to me or not? So it was just like, let me just put everything on social media, mostly like to document, but also just to raise awareness on it so that there's more funding, so that we could get more answers on the proper protocol to treat this illness.
Yeah, and I think your message, I know it's directed towards like, you know, people that have IIH and you shaved your head, but when I found you, I thought that it really applied to pretty much every person even men who have images with images issues with self-image that are chronically ill, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Like obviously my image drastically changed, right? When I'm not happy about it, but I don't have a choice. So watching you go through that and how you dealt with it helped me too. And I know would help other people regardless if they have IIH or not. So that's why I was so like struck by your content, because it was universal even though you were talking about specific content. Um, I wanted to ask you something you said earlier. You, for everyone else that is out there that's watching this that may have IIH and doesn't know, you said, I thought my vision was fine. I
Mhm.
didn't know anything was wrong.
Mhm.
So when they did your lumbar punctures or
Mhm.
even your surgeries, was it like, oh, your vision afterwards, like so different that you could see, like, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah, so the very first time, there was so much going on in my life at the time that I didn't even think about, like, my health. Like, I was going through so much at home that, like, I didn't realize, like, I was having, like, multiple headaches a day. I didn't realize I was having issues, like, with vision on and off. Like, it was just something I wasn't paying attention to because I was going, like, through when you're going through a really rough time that you don't even pay attention, like, to what's going on in your body. That's really
yeah.
what I was going through at the time. I was going through so much, especially at 18, like ready to leave for college, just going through so much at home. So I wasn't even thinking about it. But afterwards, when it like was brought to my attention, I was like, wait a second, I am having like daily headaches and I'm having issues with blurry vision. Like I'm having these symptoms. I just never look to pay attention to what was going on. So the after the first spinal tap, I noticed a decrease in my headaches, and like I'm like now I need to like actually pay attention. And I noticed over time, I could tell when my pressure was high again because it looks like so if I'm looking at you right now, like literally out of the blue, it just goes blurry. Like all of a sudden, like barely could see. It looks everything is like not clear anymore. And then it'll wave back to like normal and then it'll go out. So it goes in and out. That's how I explained it to doctors. I was like, it literally goes back and forth. So I started to notice these things only like after kind of was brought to my attention. So that's why it's important to like definitely, especially going through a hard time, it's difficult to like watch for physical symptoms
Yeah.
going on. But I had like literally it was just by chance. I was like, I want a new pair of glasses. Like, and then I started paying attention, and thank goodness I went in and got it checked out because it could have been permanent. Like I could have permanently lost it and then not. I know a lot of people with IH who never got the vision back. So I'm grateful for that.
So would you say it's important for people that have like regular headaches and blurry vision or whatever, that they'll say, oh, I just have migraines, it's just my headaches, that they
Mhm.
should actually check it out?
Absolutely. Yes. If you're
It's,
having headaches, frequent headaches, if you're having blurry vision, I would actually go as far as to recommend seeing an ophthalmologist, which is who is a medical doctor. If you don't get any answers, even from the optometrist, which is just the eye doctor who checks your vision, like general eye health, I would go even a step further to see a ophthalmologist or a neuro-ophthalmologist to get your eyes checked out if you're having any type of like frequent headaches, especially blurry vision. And there's some links to like birth control as well to get checked
Mhm,
out as well. So
mhm.
I would definitely see like if you feel like you're not getting like the answers that you want, because I've heard with a lot of people it's dismissed a lot, definitely see someone who's specialized in IAH. And there's very few, but it's definitely worth checking out.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you for that. I think that'll give the viewers something good to go on, because I think a lot of times, like you said, we're busy, we're not paying attention. Oh, I just have these headaches all the time. And this will be like, watching this will be an eye opener that maybe I should take a look into this, especially like, oh, maybe the same thing happens to them. The vision goes away and comes back. Ophthalmologist, you
Yep,
know, so
yep.
you for that.
At bare minimum, if you do go and get your glasses, like a new pair of glasses, it's a little bit more to pay for, but pay for the extra fee to look at the back of your eyes. Because sometimes they offer the option of, hey, like, do you want to, for me to like, they basically put little drops in there, and then they look at the back of your eyes with like their instrument. And it's uncomfortable, but it's worth it to look at the back of your eyes. If at the bare minimum, if you are having those symptoms, or honestly, if you're not even having like intense symptoms, just to general, just check it out.
All right, so thank you for that, and I'm gonna switch gears now.
Okay.
to your brother. Yeah, that's the other part of the story. So I'm just gonna let you tell us whatever you want about your brother and the story, because that is a huge part of this story.
Yeah, that my brother, he was literally like the most social person ever. Like he had so many friends on high school and college, and he was just like so fun for everyone to be around. Like he was like pretty much like everyone's friend. And he was my partner in crime. Like like you mentioned in the beginning, he was my only sibling growing up. So he was like my best friend. We were two peas in a pod. My parents divorced, so we would always together. Like if we weren't at my mom's house, we were with my dad, and then going back and forth, back and forth. I always say like he was like the social version of me. Like I was very like timid and kind of shy, and like he was very extroverted and wanted to be around everybody. When we would go on like family vacations, when I was younger, like he would always make friends with like the strangers and like, stay with them the whole time. Like he was just so social, and like he was so amazing. And he unfortunately passed in 2020, like this was right before the pandemic, literally February 2020. So this was literally right before, like a month before the lockdown. And it was, that whole time period was such a blur. But I definitely want to emphasize, like he was huge into music, has his own, like he had his own SoundCloud. He was very knowledgeable on like music in general, like all different types of genres. And he was a huge soccer fan too, randomly. And he was amazing. Like when we had like a funeral service at his college, in Occidental College in California, there was so many people there. Like it filled up the entire like chapel, and like all his friends like made it it was a horrible circumstance, but they made it great. And like the stuff he would say, because it described his personality. He didn't want people to be sad. Like he just wanted to make everyone laugh. So that's a little bit about him. But like, as you mentioned in the beginning, I did have a dream like the night before I got the phone call, that something bad happened. Like I woke up one morning, and I looked to my husband, and I was like something doesn't seem off. Like something's like bad is going to happen to him, and I just don't know what. And then later that day, I got a phone call that his heart has stopped, and he was in a coma. So there was like a little bit of, for me, I just thought there was a little bit of hope that he was going to come out of this, and that it wasn't as bad as it was. And then I was in college in North Carolina at the time. So we literally just packed everything and drove to Atlanta so that we could fly to California. And it was worse than I thought when we got there. And he was in a coma for a couple days. And then it was the weirdest thing, but it was like, I don't know if you've ever lost somebody. It's weird where it's like, it felt strange, where it felt like there was like a sense of like calm that came over me. And then all of a sudden, I got the call from one of my family members that he was no longer going to be able to make it. and like all basically he was going to come out of a coma. He was not going to come out of a coma, and he had far too much brain damage. And that was basically what happened. Is like we had a couple days of like hope just to see where things could go, because a lot of the times with brain injuries, because he had like no oxygen going to his brain, it could go either way in a couple days. So they gave him a couple days. They said it wasn't going to make it, and then there was like this weird sense of calm that came over me, and it was almost like he was like saying goodbye, almost like something came over me, and it was like, yeah, this is the end of the road type of thing. And I'll never forget that feeling, because after that it was he was gone within like maybe an hour or two. And that was all in 2020. Like his official death date was February 20th, 2020.
I think that's probably your sibling love and your bond, just knowing that it was about to happen.
Yeah, exactly. And I can't explain this. He died in February 20th, 2020 at 20 years old. And it's weird how the numbers work, because he was just my dad's career at the time was playing football, and his number was 20 when my brother was born. So it was so strange to me, but it was like I'll never forget that day when they announced he would die. It felt like literally my heart being ripped out. If you ever lost someone, it literally, you feel it right here, and that pain and pressure does not go away for like, I still have it. If I talk about it, like even now, like it's like like right here, and it won't, like, it's like a pressure, and it feels like somebody is taking out like your heart and like your breath away, and it's still there. So that's it. To go back to your original question, is like, does this time really heal all wounds? I don't know. For me to say heal all wounds, for me, healing is like the feeling will never come back. Like it's cured. That's why I like healing. And like, for me, that's just it hasn't been a case specifically with losing him. It still comes back in like when I got married, when I had my first baby, when every single milestone I have, that feeling in your chest just comes back. Like he's not here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was very difficult, and everything spiraled health-wise, like you had mentioned in the beginning, from there.
I think, the time heals all wounds. I think one of the things I didn't realize in loss, and many people probably don't realize in loss, is that we think that time's going to heal wounds, even if it's not all wounds, that time is going to do something to the pain that you feel. And then as time goes on, you're like, I can still cry at a drop of a hat. Mm-hmm. And you think like it's supposed to get better. This is how it is for me, and other people that have talked about losing people. But the yearning for them actually gets worse over time, not better. Worse, like you said, your daughter being born, your wedding, and you just want them there so bad, and you're like, if time healed all wounds, why do I still feel so torn up about this? Like, yes, I'm always going to be sad. It's my brother, it's my only sibling, but the pain is so severe, like you said, like boom, right there,
right here. Yeah. And actually, it's interesting you mentioned that, because as time goes on, the reason why it's worse for me personally is it's hard watching all of his friends his age hit milestones that I wish I was able to see him. Like, he's forever like 20 years old, and that's like the heartbreaking truth for me, is like, I'm so happy for his friends. It's extremely hard for me to watch. And it's heartbreaking, because like I'm watching them get their bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, get married, had like having children, and I just wish so bad that he was able to just experience the rest of what life had to offer at the time. That's
Yeah.
like that's a sore spot for me, is the kind of watching people his age slash friends, because I'm looking at it, he was 20 years old when he died, and he would have been 20, he would have been 99, so he would have been 27. And
Mhm.
that messes with my mind a little bit. It's like, what would you look like at 27?
Mhm.
Like, what would you have been like? So it's interesting you mentioned like the time, how it gets worse. That in that way, it has gotten worse for me.
Yeah.
A lot worse. Yeah.
Will you talk about this gem featuring
Yes. Yes.
Jaden? Because I bought this, like, just so the viewers could see. It's like, it's not that long, but this gem, different Jaden, mental health awareness for kids. It's so well written that there are questions in here that, like, who do you trust to talk to when you're having a bad day? So it's not even like obvious that you're what you're trying to get from your children when you're having these conversations with them. I truly believe that every parent should read this book with their children and ask these questions, because the the responses that could come from these questions could be truly eye-opening. And then, of course, you really got me at the end because you have all the pictures of your brother. So
Yes. Yeah.
about this and where people can get it, because I think this is truly a gem.
Yes, you can get on Amazon. It'll ship right to you. That book was all the stuff that he liked to do. So if you read it, it's about music. He was actually he ran track in college, and so that was a coping mechanism for him too. So it just gave multiple strategies on what to do if you're struggling and who to talk to if you're struggling. And I wanted to make it in honor of him. And like you said at the end, it has some personal pictures of him, just to kind of bring more, just more light, and basically bring more awareness to mental health in general. Because like it's explaining to children in a way that these are the steps you can take in order to receive help, and it's okay to ask for help, essentially. So that book. It was I cried so much making that book, but
Mm-hmm.
it was I made everything from start to scratch. So like I made all of the images in there. I made all of the storyline. Like it was literally front to back. That was I put my heart into it. So yeah, you can find that one on Amazon. If you need me to send the link as well, I can send it to you as well. You can also go on my TikTok in the link tree bio in my bio. There it says children's book in there that you can press on the link as well to order. It'll get sent right to you, no problem, on Amazon. So thank you for ordering it, by the way. When you
Yeah, of
ordered
course.
it and like opened it, I was like, oh, thank you so much, because it had been a while since I had published it. So I appreciate you bringing it up again, because like it can.
Yeah. I was like, girl, you got me crying over here. I was like, I'm a mess. But it's really, really good. And I will too post the link when I, do all my clips after this. So
Thank you.
I really do think it's a gem when I read it. So
Thank you.
it's
It
great.
means so much. Yeah, it really means the world to me, because like this, I love. If you know me in real life, I love writing. So
Yeah.
I really hope people can benefit from reading it, especially to their children. That would mean so much to me.
There's no doubt it's a labor of love. You can feel it in every word. So
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank
I
you.
know there's something you wanted to talk about, so I want to make sure we bring it up. Is the group that helped you significantly during this time, Halos?
Yes.
And, we weren't sure if they were like just in Florida. I could only find them in Florida, but can you talk a little bit about this group? But even if someone doesn't have a group like Halos around them, I'm sure there are similar groups if they need the support that you need, like after a loss.
Yeah. So I promise I wouldn't get emotional, but like that group literally like saved me. Like it's a support group for individuals who have lost a loved one to suicide, and it is a you're just like every single group I would get something out of each individual perspective. So I would see moms, dads, sisters, brothers, cousins, friends, and every single group it was almost like for me, I'm a spiritual person. It was almost like so so basically I'm a spiritual person, and somebody it felt like, and I'm not sure if you're familiar like with the Bible at all, but it said like God is close to the brokenhearted. It feels like in the midst of pain and everyone talking about their pain, there was still like some type of comfort, like spiritual comfort that was there in the room with us every time. Mm-hmm. And it got me, we would be listening to the most horrible like things and everything, and I would be expressing like my deepest pain, and it was a place of vulnerability. Like it's your most vulnerable self and the worst thing that happened to you, and you're saying the worst things that people can experience in life. And at the very end, we're all like, just like, hey, like, catching up. Like you're when you're so vulnerable with a group of strangers, you become like instant, like it's almost like family, like right after, because like you have been most vulnerable with these people that you have not even been vulnerable with family members even. So that group changed my life, and I think they're only in Florida, but if you go on, I think it's the American Suicide Foundation, they also have support groups that are in other states that you could utilize. But I highly recommend a support group, because this is one of those losses, in my opinion, that you can't really understand until you have really gone through it yourself or have lost somebody in that way. And like that's where I felt closest and connected to other people, is like they can instantly understand what I'm saying. I'm instantly talking about a period of grief where they instantly know what I'm talking about and how I'm feeling and the things that I went through. It's almost like I don't even have to say exactly how I feel, that they already know. Like, so yes, Halos, highly recommend. It's I found it honestly through a hospital pamphlet they had given me when I left the hospital for my brother, and they had recommended it, and I was just like, I'll take a gamble and go, and it changed my life. Like that was single-handedly the only way like I was able to like cope, especially in the early days.
And I think the reason why I know you wanted to talk about it and I wanted to bring it up is I think the need that these groups are so undervalued, because the way our society is right now, we don't really connect anymore. We're always behind the screens. And this is such an important part of a lot of people in their healing journey, that they do become part of these social support groups, and it is a social environment with people who are the only people that can understand what you're going through. That is why you feel that connection to these people. So for everybody out there struggling that says, I would never go to a support group, I would just say, give it a try.
Give it a try.
A couple visits, because yes, you'd be surprised what can happen in there.
And I think that group also has a subset. So they have one for healing after suicide loss, and then they have one if you just struggled yourself as well with mental health as well. So it's a great group. Like right now, I think they're only in Florida, but like they have other organizations as well. Give a support group a try. I'm telling you, it did more healing for me than any other like method I could have used, because you don't feel alone. And like in this kind of like grief and loss, the number one thing is feeling alone. But that group literally saved me. I'm forever grateful to them. So shout out to them.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, when I close out the show, I like to ask for a message of hope for you, right? So I didn't get to touch on the fact that you've come so far, right? That you are now a wife, you are a mom to a baby that you just had in January. And C is on TikTok. It is hilarious every day. Doing her dance videos because she wants her daughter to see all the dances was it from the 90s or 2000s or something?
Yeah, the 2000s, the 2010s.
Yeah. So my question to you is, can you give the viewers a message of hope? And one of the things I said to you was like, what do you want to convey the most during this interview? And you said that there is life beyond grief. So what message of hope can you give someone that's going through anything, a health issue, a loss of a loved one, issues trying to conceive, you know, like whatever it may be? What advice can you give to people?
I will start with saying, when my brother died, when they told me he was not going to come back, the first thought in my head was, there's absolutely no way I can live another day or go on without my brother. Like, there's no way in my reality where there's life without him, or like anything I could do with my life after that. What I would say is, and I know it sounds like super like simple, but it's true. I give myself another day. Like, basically, like, I've had the worst day of my life today. Give myself another day. Give myself another day. And that's what I kept telling myself is, let's try tomorrow. Let's try again tomorrow. Let's try again tomorrow. Is to not ever give up just because of that day. So let's try tomorrow. Let's try it. And it could take weeks, months, years, but you'll start noticing over time, hey, that, you know, this anniversary didn't hurt as bad as it did in previous years. Or I didn't cry today, but I cried for the past like 3 months every single day. There'll come a time in a day where it's very small improvements over time that you'll start to notice. And so my biggest advice is, give yourself another day. It was a bad day today. Try again tomorrow. And this applies for having chronic illnesses myself, like multiple chronic illnesses. I feel horrible, but give myself another day. Give myself another day. Give myself another day. And even in the midst of my pain and chronic health issues that I'm going on, if I can still make a difference, you existing and you staying here can inspire somebody else to move forward with another day. So that's my biggest advice.
Yeah, I think that was beautiful. And I think you hit the nail on the head. If you are saying, I'm staying here and giving it another day, people are going to be watching you and say, well, if C can give it another day, I can give it another
day.
And I think that's the huge thing for all of us advocates and have people that are watching to struggle just to make it through the day and not sure they will make it to the next day. Is just do what we say. I'm just kidding. Just do what we say and give yourself another day. I promise you it'll
give yourself another day. Like, small improvements, but it's just give yourself one more day. Like, instead of looking at it like, oh, I can't make it to the next week, I can't make it to the next month, let alone just give it a day. Like,
right. Focus on the immediate future, because if you focus too far ahead, you're just going to make yourself feel bad and go into probably a place you don't want to be. So
exactly.
Yeah. So that is pretty much wraps it up. This is C on TikTok. You can see all of her videos. Please check her out there and give her a follow. I've been following her since 2003. I'm so happy that you were here today. Do you have any final message before I close out the show? Halos.
I don't have a final message. I just hope that whoever is watching, to give you a place of hope and to overcome difficult struggles in life. And like I said, all of my healing, like I love Halos. And that's really it. Thank you for following me. If you do follow me, if you like the book, definitely reach out to me and let me know what you think. I take any type of criticism, just as long as you have read it. Definitely check it out and send me a message via email. Reach out to me. I respond to pretty much every single message. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out.
Well, see, you are the sunshine in a cloudy day, and that's why I keep watching you since 2003. And thank you for being on my show. And we'll talk soon. And to everybody else, that wraps up this episode, and I will see you next month. Thank you for watching.
In a quiet seaside town in Greece, where sunlight warms the stone paths and the sea whispers nearby, a new adventure begins. Lady Ella and her brother Lord Jack have arrived with an important mission: to teach kindness, patience, and the power of listening. In a hidden alley, a group of forgotten cats feel unseen and unheard, lost in silence and growing misunderstandings, until someone finally takes the time to truly listen. Because when we listen from the heart, loneliness softens, kindness grows, and new friendships begin. This is Book 10 of The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella, the Listening Mentor book series. Find all Dr. Kerbeck's books on Amazon and in fine bookstores worldwide.
My Tummy Hurts by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Meet Jackie. She loves recess, running with friends, and laughing on the playground. At school, Jackie tries to play like she always does, but suddenly the pain comes back. Lately, something feels different and her tummy hurts, sometimes a little and sometimes a lot. With the help of a caring teacher, a nurse, her mom, and a kind doctor, Jackie begins to understand what her body is trying to tell her. Sometimes tummy pain is more than a simple bellyache. Some children live with conditions like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Jackie listens to her body. She asks for help. She knows she's not alone. And Jackie finds her way back to running, laughing, and being herself. My Tummy Hurts, a kid's guide to bellyaches and bathroom troubles by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, available on Amazon and in fine bookstores around the world.
Hey you, psst, yes you, watching this right now. Are you creating content, a blog, a podcast, a newsletter, going live on Instagram or TikTok, and still not seeing real visibility or growth? Here's why. Anyone can post, anyone can go live, but not everyone is positioned to be taken seriously. Right now, people are going to YouTube to search for experts, for answers, for credibility. So while you're putting in the work, someone else is being seen as the authority. Not because they know more, because they're positioned better. Now imagine this: your own professionally produced TV show, marketed, distributed, optimized with SEO so people can actually find you. Not just seen, but searchable, discoverable, positioned. You're trained, you're coached, you're guided. No experience necessary, but you do have to be coachable, because this is about stepping into a higher level. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing it right. We've already built the platform, 2 YouTube channels, a global audience, a Silver Creator Award. So the question is, how much longer are you going to rely on temporary visibility when you could be building real authority? If you're ready to be seen differently, go to usaglobaltv.com and apply to host your own show. This is for individuals who are serious about investing in their visibility, their credibility, and their growth. If that's you, we're ready. USA Global TV and Radio, where your voice becomes your platform. Executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Videographer, Paul Garcia. Voiceover, Ed Vargas. All rights reserved. This production is the exclusive property of the USA Global TV and Radio and may not be reproduced, distributed, or used without written permission.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA Global TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.